Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a story that really boils down to a single massive choice: the quiet, hands-on work of a farm versus the mythic, demanding pull of a distant city. And right in the middle of it all is one man, Curran, who's caught between these two totally opposite ways of seeing the world. All right, let's get into it. So let's just jump right in with this one line, because it's pretty much the key to the whole story. Karan says this to his father, who's basically asking if his brother was wrong to leave and join the army. And Karan's response? I think we're answering different questions. Boom! Right there, he completely reframes the conflict. This isn't about who's right or who's wrong. It's about two people looking at the exact same world and asking completely different things of it. Because this whole narrative, it's built on that fundamental clash. It's this massive contrast between two opposing ways of life. You've got the fields that Karan works every single day, and then you have the distant, walled city of Voltan. And look, this slide just lays it all out for us, right? On one side, you have the fields. They're quiet, they're tangible, you can touch the soil, you can fix the fence. They're patient, they respond to honest work, and most importantly, they stay. Then you have Voltan. It's loud, almost legendary. Its horns and drills are this constant background noise. It's demanding, it's severe, it requires oaths and loyalty, and it is always changing. Now, this is a really, really important point the story makes. Karan's decision to stay on the farm, it's not a passive thing. He's not just staying because he's afraid to leave. It's a conscious, active refusal. He is deliberately turning his back on everything Voltan stands for: its ambition, its rigid hierarchy, its whole philosophy of power. So, okay, we get what he's refusing, but why? Why choose this life? Well, for him, there's this profound meaning, this entire philosophy found in the simple, repetitive logic of his daily work. So his day kicks off before the sun is even up, but it's not about being rushed. It's about bringing order to his world. His routine is how he makes sense of everything. Every single task, mending that fence, turning the soil, feeding the animals, it's clear, it's honest, and it's predictable. There's a logic to it that he can actually hold on to. And this, right here, this is the core of it. In a world where loyalties are always shifting, where the city is in constant flux, the farm gives him something stable. It's grounding. For Curran, there's this deep, powerful comfort in the simple, predictable rhythm of the work. And here, talking to his mother, he just boils it all down to this one simple, powerful truth. This is his anchor. His brother, Jason, he left. People change, they go. But the work is the one thing that's constant. The work stays. But, even way out here, deep in the quiet of the fields, the world that Curran refused, it finds a way to make its presence known. And it's not just in the sounds you can hear from the city, but in the heavy, unspoken silence inside his own home. Yeah, the military power of Voltan is always there, kind of bleeding into the quiet. You've got the faint sound of horns in the distance, the steady rhythm of training drills, the sharp crack of soldiers' hooves on the road. They're this persistent, daily reminder of the life his brother chose and the world that Curran walked away from. And inside the farmhouse, that presence is silent, but it's just as powerful. The grief over Jason leaving is so deep that his name isn't even spoken. His absence is like a physical thing in the house: an empty chair at the dinner table, a heavy, deliberate silence from his parents whenever the subject comes close. And this all circles back to that core idea, doesn't it? The tension between the brothers isn't framed as good versus evil or right versus wrong. It's about two people on completely different journeys, answering totally different questions. Kieran stays to keep things alive, to nurture. Jason left for a life of conquest and constant change, a path where staying isn't even an option. And for their parents, you can just feel this impossible mix of pride in one son and quiet disappointment in the other. So, if he's turning his back on the city, is Curran totally alone? Well, not exactly. What's so interesting is how he starts to build this new kind of community. And it's not one based on orders and hierarchy, but on shared work and, well, an understanding that doesn't need words. This new community really starts to take shape when Kari arrives, and with just this one observation, she shows that she gets it. She gets Kieran's worldview completely. She looks at tired soil and doesn't see a failure of production. She sees something that just needs to rest, a concept that is totally foreign to the relentless machine of the city. And then his old friend, Yizwo, shows up. Now, these are both veterans, men who lived and breathed the rigid military structure of Volton. And in this simple, quiet exchange, they both acknowledge what they've found out here in the fields, a release, an escape from all of that. You can feel the relief. And this is what's so incredible about the community they're building. It's all about what's not said. Their communication comes through these small, meaningful actions. You see Kari physically stepping in to block Curran's view of passing soldiers. His sister Adari giving him a quiet wave instead of asking painful questions. Yizhou talking about the weather, not the war. The shared work itself becomes their language, and it creates this safe space, this sanctuary that Volton could never, ever offer. Okay, so everything seems to be settling into this new quiet life, right? Well, this is where the story leaves us with these unsettling little hints that the fields Curran chose might be far, far more than just dirt and rocks. And the first little clue we get comes from his sister, Ari. She feels this pull toward the world beyond the farm, this desire to listen for something else. It's a really subtle suggestion that Curran's quiet life, his refusal of the city, might not be a simple or permanent answer for everybody. But the final moment, the one that's genuinely chilling, comes when Kron is out on the fields all alone. He presses his hand to the soil to ground himself in that reality he chose, and something answers him. But the text is clear, it's not the earth. It's something deeper, something ancient and quiet and patient in a way that just absolutely terrifies him. So that's the question we're left with. Kron made a choice. He picked the tangible world over the mythic one. He rejected the grand story of the city for the simple, honest story of the fields. But what if, in doing that, he accidentally stumbled upon a mystery that's even deeper and more unsettling? What if the ground beneath his feet has its own stories to tell?